Iwan Sunito， 印度尼西亚裔澳大利亚企业家，知名地产企业 Crown Group 的创始人兼总裁。2015年被评为 The Australia Property Person of the Year， 是该奖项成立以来最年轻的获奖者。祖籍中国福建，苏尼特先生出生于印度尼西亚的一个小镇，青年时期来到澳大利亚悉尼求学，先后在新南威尔士大学完成了他建筑专业的本科及硕士学位。1996年，苏尼特先生与他的合伙人成立了 Crown Group。经过20余年的发展， Crown Group 已经成为澳大利亚最大的私营地产开发商之一。今天，这位将著名建筑大师贝聿铭视为自己偶像的地产大亨，接受了雪梨视频的独家专访，与我们一同分享他创业20多年来的心路历程，以及对澳大利亚地产行业的独到见解。
I think one of the key success to me is about knowing your strength. And oftentimes people say is that you have to find your point of difference and to be good. But I'm saying that you don't have to be different to be good. If you're good, you're different. So finding your own strength and what makes you really good is the focus of Crown Group. And what we are doing really well as a Crown company is focusing on creating an urban resort. So we focus on residential apartment, but we also see the need of people not just having a box to live with, but it's also all this beautiful landscape, beautiful facility, resort, and these are the things that Crown Group is very focused on knowing that's our strength. Now, I think being persistent is also important to be successful, because first 5 years I almost gave up. You know, I I couldn't even buy a decent car. I mean, I'm talking about a decent car as being a $10,000 car. And I kind of said to Dad that I think I want to go home, you know, and I couldn't make it. But Dad, see a longer term, being persistent, and he said, look, you're doing well, you know, keep going with what you do, and I did, you know. In the next 10 years, we start seeing the growth of Crown Group. So from 5 years, we see very little result, but then we start seeing further results in 10 years of the Crown Group starting. We start hitting the first $1 billion project pipeline, and of course, it kept growing during the crisis, the recession, the global financial crisis. That persistence to keep going when everybody else give up is an important thing to be successful.
And you know, when you mentioned Indonesia, definitely this is your hometown, right?
Yeah.
So I heard some of like you maybe stories, you know, the personal stories online. Unfortunately, just online though. You've encountered some, you know, like accident before when you were maybe in the childhood. What sort of things, you know, change your perception in, you know, in the future? Can you please share with us? Yeah.
But talking about my background is, I think it's also important to know that my grandfather came from Fujian, right?
Oh, wow.
They migrated all the way to Kalimantan, and then I was born in Surabaya, Java, and then grew up in Kalimantan, the jungle there. Yep. My mother's side is from Canton, right? My great-grandfather come from Canton, so I'm a mix of Fujian and Cantonese, and the two cultures are quite dominant in Indonesia. Fujian being the richest man is Mr. Lim Xiao Leong, who came from Fujian too. So, and these are the significant people there, right? So I had when I was growing up, I had a lot of struggle in my study. So 1 year I failed my school, and it was a big embarrassment to the family, of course. It was a big failure, and if you are one of the 300 students that fail, you're just really the hopeless one. So I said to my mom, I wanted to go to Bali and I want to have a holiday. And Mom says, well, you shouldn't go there, because I mean, you just failed your class. Why would you want to have a holiday there? I said, can I do it for the last time? And my mom said, no, don't say it. Don't say the last time. And I almost had the last time in Bali, because I had an accident with tanker truck. I was riding a motorbike. No helmet, you just hit a tanker truck head-on collision, and I was in coma for 5 days. I couldn't remember what happened in that time.
That's
so
very
it's
serious.
Yeah, it's almost a disaster, right? You just fail your class, and then you had an accident, but that accident and having that sort of trauma in a way that actually changed the way that I see about my life. So for the first time, I kind of thought there has to be a purpose why I'm not dead, right? I mean, you're in a freeway.
Everything happens for its reason.
Yeah, but this is a major accident, and I had a few broken bones, but I'm okay, you know. I mean, I didn't have any brain damage or anything, and so I thought there must be a purpose. Now, that to me changed the way that I see about the future. So suddenly I start saying there has to be greater things. There has to be something bigger than what I used to do, where I used to think that I was hopeless, stupid, you were just worst in the class. You have this self-inferior feeling, and you just self-doubt, and everybody else better than you. And after that accident, I kind of changed the way I think I can do better. And that simply changed almost everything that I do. And funny enough, I mean, I was then thrown into a class of the top 5 students in the class. Now, I was the worst. Yeah, the top 5.
Oh, wow.
But the change of friendship, and this is important, I think, for the younger generation to know that if you walk with the wise, you will become wise. In a way that walk with the smart people, you'll become smarter. You didn't become smarter instantly, but over time you will become smarter. So because I mixed with these people, and one of them became my girlfriend. Didn't become my wife later on, but it was a girlfriend. And she was smart. She was ranking 5 in the whole class. And at the end of that year, I actually managed to match her mark, which is actually interesting, isn't it? Coming from years of really self-doubt, not knowing what to do, and always failing, kind of almost getting 5 to become 6 kind of thing, and now suddenly rising up, which to me is how environment, who you're mixing with, you become like the one you're mixing with. Virtually that changed the way that I start doing better mark, I start having better confidence, and moved to Sydney after that.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing with us. It's such a nice, inspiring story though. Yeah, thank you. Also, what is the approximate value of Crown Pipeline, or can I say, how we make it different from other, maybe companies?
And what makes Crown Group very different is, I think, the passionate people that we have. We have very, very good people working with our team, and they're very, very passionate, they're very skillful. We are fortunate that we draw some of the finest people from the industry, but we also maintain gender mix. Yep. A ratio of male and female within the company. We have leaders that are of genders, different genders, but we also maintain the multi-generations within the company. So you'll see a spectrum of age within the group that I want to make sure that we continue to re-innovate ourselves.
Yeah, as I noticed, the Crown's buildings are very fascinating. You integrate the indoor and outdoor with a confined space, and it bring all the comfort, modern luxury, and more important, it's really affordable. How would you make this happen? Okay,
interesting. It's Crown Group runs on a philosophy of building Mercedes-Benz or Rolls-Royce at the price of Honda. So basically, that the best of the best in the market, but you price it so that it's compatible or competitive with everybody else, but offering 30-40% product differences out there. Now, how can you do it? You can do that through a scale, that you grow your company to a scale where there is a economic of scale in buying, there's an economic of scale in doing what you do. We can achieve that through speed. That means that you deliver things fast. So Crown Group is a one-stop shop in a way that we have division from development, construction, sales, leasing. So it's a one kind of factory outlet that you build it from the beginning to the end. So what we can save by accelerating the program, we can pass it on to our buyers.
Very intelligent strategy.
Well, it took a while. It took 20 years to make it, and now Crown Group has got like 160 to 180 people working in the platform. So it's growing rapidly. But that's the only way that you can build the best and delivering at a price that people can actually afford to buy.
在下一期节目里，Sunito先生将为我们分享他对中国买家的看法，以及他对澳大利亚地产行业的独到见解。更多精彩，锁定雪梨视频。